Hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of OVPLT Talks. Today I welcome to the office Kathy Bradley, Head of the Skills Centre, and Dr. Loretta Goff, also of the Skills Centre, both of who sit on the National Academic Integrity Network. And we're going to talk today about the whole issue of academic integrity. So academic integrity, it's a term we're hearing a lot about at the moment, and it's often spoken about in terms of plagiarism or misconduct. How would you explore the distinctions between those, Loretta?
First things people tend to think of when they hear academic integrity is plagiarism, but this is actually kind of the opposite side to academic integrity, and plagiarism is just one form of academic misconduct, which is really over-encompassing, a distinct opposite of integrity. So they are linked together, of course, because when you're committing academic misconduct, you're going against academic integrity. But really what academic integrity is about is that positive side of things, of doing good work, developing your skills, everything you get out of that, and really kind of taking pride in your own work and being able to stand over it as your own. So it's really about kind of pushing that, all of the positives of that good work.
And Kathy, what would you think are the biggest threats to academic integrity at the moment?
I suppose there's always been threats to academic integrity, and as Loretta said, looking at my own work has been a huge positive impact coming forward. But essay mills were the big threat in the area. That people would pay to have their essays done and then submit them. But recently, in November actually last year, ChatGPT arrived. So it's how the students are going to learn to navigate that, I think, is one of the biggest threats. It's also put a bit of pressure on the essay mills because students can now access different resources and aren't maybe in need of the business that the essay mills were selling. And so we've noticed an increased amount of our students being targeted in social media. So that's a big threat too, because they're coming after vulnerable students. Students when they're stuck for time pressures or they're at an area where they might make a decision that they wouldn't normally make and they're being targeted for that. So that's a big threat.
Yeah, that's one of the most awful things about essay mills is actually targeting vulnerable students. Well, I suppose academic integrity more generally is a major priority for QQI at the moment, and because of that, the HEA has put it as a priority under the SATL round of funding this year. That's the Strategic Alignment of Teaching and Learning Enhancement Funds, where we got, I think, 715,000 euros this year for various projects. And we have two projects going in the general area of academic integrity. One will be in the registrar's office, more, I suppose, on policies and procedures and records and so on. But Loretta, you've just been appointed to the other side as Academic Integrity Education Officer in UCC. And can you tell me how you're going to work with staff and students to address these issues?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is about kind of taking that positive approach to fostering academic integrity across the university in kind of a preventative measure. There is already now, we launched last October, a staff digital badge in fostering academic integrity in learning and teaching. And this is really a great resource for staff to get involved in. It's a self-paced course, so they can come in anytime. And it's all online with a few workshops we have. And this will kind of present them with all of the background of what academic integrity is, the fundamental values underpinning it, what the national context is, and looking at how it relates to things like our professionalism and things like artificial intelligence and threats coming against it. And then it brings you through the student journey and looking at places where you can scaffold in skills and development that all foster academic integrity. So there's case studies from across the university there about good practice examples, and then through the misconduct and plagiarism policies as well and how to enact those, and then finally all the supports that are available in UCC from the Skills Centre and the library. So I'd encourage all staff to get involved in that. In addition to that, we have staff academic integrity champions from across the university, both academic and professional staff. And they have worked with us on that badge, putting together that content, and are also kind of a resource to bring in on other activities and trainings going forward and to kind of spread information about academic integrity. So we get updates from the National Academic Integrity Network, and then they can be spread out through them. And then we also have, of course, resources for students through Canvas, through the Skills Centre website, and workshops and things like that. So I'm happy to kind of work with staff and bring those programs in to students. We have academic integrity bingo, some fun ways to get through it. So I can work with staff essentially to kind of develop out these programs and bring them directly to them.
So the Skills Centre has had its best year yet, a very, very busy year. We've had 13,300 engagements with our students, and that's just our physical engagements. That's not counting our website or indeed the Success Zone on Canvas. It's the only course in the university where all 23,000 students are registered in it, and we've 10,500 active users every week. We also have a really good website. We've got great resources on there, and we noticed even an increase now around exam time for leaving certs. We've got some publicly available resources there. So there's students from the FE colleges, the leaving certs, they all use them around exam time.
Wow.
So they're able to utilise all that. Within the Skills Centre itself, again, very much like Loretta, I think, because we do sort of a model for all, and then we do individual modelling as well. So if staff members want us to come in and deliver bespoke programmes to their students, be it in writing, in the transition skills, so we're looking at the transitioning into the university, the skills that have to be developed throughout their time in university. We work quite closely with the different programmes, and so we can build and develop any programme that the academic community would like us to do to help underpin.
How does skills underpin academic integrity?
So I suppose, the transition from being a second level student into third level is very difficult. You're sort of not, you mightn't even choose what you have for breakfast one day, and the next thing you're an independent thinker. And so learning those skills, those critical thinking skills, learning how to, I suppose, engage with your discipline, how to take on that discipline specific cloak, and how to write not just in here's a 5-paragraph essay and spit it out at the other side, but critically engage with all the resources. There's a lot in academic integrity, it is their own work, but yet they need the opportunity to have some feedback, to develop as writers. We'll all develop as writers probably till the day we die, because we'll all learn something new all the time.
Well, anyway, thank you both very much for calling over to the office today. We certainly have great supports in UCC, but I think it really does, I suppose, fall to everyone to take action to foster academic integrity in the broadest sense. I'm sure, Loretta, you and indeed the Skills Centre generally would welcome any of our staff if they wish to reach out to you and maybe explore how you can work with them to foster academic integrity in their own learning and teaching. So anyway, I think the take-home message, I think, more than anything from this talk is academic integrity is everyone's business. Thank you.